Hey everyone, Steven here with Innovate Fast Marketing. I am the advertising director. We help tons and tons of med spas and medical practices across the nation. Just last year alone, we managed more than, I think it was $2.5 million in advertising spend. I just wanted to talk about one really simple thing that I believe contributes to really the majority of our success that we see with our clients. And it's one of the most basic principles of advertising where the majority of people, for some reason, they just forget about or they miss or whatever it may be. So let's just jump into it real quick. To start off, I just want to talk about the three main elements to a marketing campaign or a advertising campaign. Google, Facebook, Instagram, all of these different things, right? So there's three elements to really any of this. Number one is your audience. Number two is copywriting. Number three is your creatives, images, videos, whatever it may be. So those are the three main elements to really any, digital campaign or really any campaign in general. The one I want to talk about today the most is copywriting. So copywriting is really where most people fail. And oddly enough, it's really where the money is actually made. It's arguably the most important factor and an ingredient in any single campaign that you could possibly create. So there's three main things or three tips that I'm going to give you that you really need to focus on and keep in mind when you're creating a campaign. And although this talk is more directly towards like a Facebook ad, or direct response marketing in general, these concepts need to be applied across the board, whether it's an email marketing campaign, a direct mail marketing campaign, anything like that. So just keep that in mind as we go through it. So number one is the most obvious, and it'll probably come as no surprise to everyone, but I'm going to wipe this down right here so you can see what I'm writing. Number one is knowing your ideal client or customer or patient, whatever it may be. Knowing them better than they know themselves. That's essentially what this is. This is really the foundation of everything afterwards. If you fail here, you will fail with everything else. You really need to know who they are, what they want, what their problems are, what keeps them awake at night, where they hang out, who they idolize, everything like that. You need to know every single thing about them. Seriously, more than they know themselves. You have to, otherwise you will fail or you'll be mediocre at best. Those are the three things. I mean, I'm not going to go into detail with that on this video, but I'll tell you one simple thing that you can do is you have to do your own research, whether that's a survey to your current customer base or running a simple engagement ad to a survey asking these questions. Seriously, just asking them those questions directly. What's your favorite TV show? Where do you eat, on Tuesday night? What's your favorite thing to do with your family? What are your dreams, your goals? All these different things. Any question you could possibly think of to ask them that you think might help, you should do it. So that's an easy approach. People are much more willing to answer these questions, especially in like a anonymous survey format than you would think. So that's the first part. Number two, this is another one that for some reason, a lot of businesses just in general miss or they don't put enough of their efforts towards it. The hook. And I am not the best with this kind of stuff, but you have to focus on the hook. Every single headline should be directed towards your ideal client or your ideal patient. You need to understand their fears, their frustrations, their dreams, their desires, which goes back to point number one. So if you don't have point number one, you'll never be able to create a really enticing hook. If you don't understand that, you're going to miss the mark every time. One of the interesting things about this in, the constantly changing and evolving digital and technological world is, as I'm sure you're aware, is targeting is the big thing right now. Data is the big thing. So regardless of the fact that, especially in the digital space, that you can be extremely laser focused towards your target audience. You can target people that like Kim Kardashian, or you can target people in a certain, generate a certain household income or whatever it may be. Regardless of all that, one thing you also need to keep in mind when writing your hook and just copy in general is you need to act like you aren't targeting those people. Like, you don't have the ability to target those people. If you keep that in mind while you're writing this, and the copy is essentially the targeting, then you'll win. You can mess up the targeting a little bit, but you'll still win because you're speaking to your ideal client. You know, and an easy approach to this actually is, one thing to remember, a little like golden nugget here, is clarity over cleverness. It doesn't have to be the most catchy, clever headline, hook, slogan, or whatever you want to call it, if it's not clear. Keep it simple, keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple, keep it clear, ask a simple question where your ideal customer would say yes. If they saw that ad on Facebook, they scrolled down it, and for some reason it got their attention, they read that first line. If it's a question and they say yes to it, and obviously it applies to your product or your service, whatever it may be, then you have their attention. They'll continue reading. I'm going to move on to number 3. Here we are. Number 3 is tell them, I'm going to write it really big, exactly what to do. Your ideal customer has stopped on your ad. They're interested, they're intrigued, they want it. It's their solution to their problem. But for some reason, the majority of ads that I see out there, they don't clearly tell you what to do. And you have to keep it extremely, extremely simple and to the point. You have to tell them, click this exact button right here if you want to solve this problem. Essentially, that's what you're going to do. I can't tell you how many ads that, even that we run, where we are extremely clear, where we drop links everywhere, where we have huge call to actions, where people are still commenting, like on a Facebook ad, saying, how do I take advantage of this? Or can you send me more information? So if you're not telling them exactly what to do, and you're extremely clear and concise about that, or there's, other distractions or whatever it may be, you're going to lose their attention like that. So essentially, in a nutshell, every single campaign or ad or whatever it may be that you have should have one clear goal. Just one clear thing that you need them to do. Whether it's generating a lead, you want to capture their information, whether it's getting likes, shares, and comments on your ad, whatever it may be, you need to tell them exactly what to do, nothing else, because if it's two things and you lose their attention, you're likely losing them for good. So yeah, that's really it. That's all I wanted to go into on this video. I'm not going to go any more in depth, but if you found this helpful, if you found some value in it, just comment below. Let me know if there's anything in particular you have questions on, or if you'd like me to create another video going a little bit more in depth on any of these topics in particular. So yeah, appreciate it. Again, Steven here with Innovate Fast, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the week.